We're diving into the extraordinary story of the 1985 D-Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that most Americans have seen, spent, and ignored, yet in rare error form, it has become a highly demanded treasure in the collector's market. This is not just about a coin. This is about opportunity. This is about awareness. This is about the difference between spending a penny and selling it for serious money. In 1985, the United States Mint was producing millions upon millions of Lincoln cents for circulation. At the Denver Mint, identified by the small D mint mark under the date, billions of coins rolled off the presses. To most Americans, these coins were nothing more than everyday currency. But collectors know something powerful: when mass production meets imperfection, value is born. The 1985 D Lincoln cent features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a symbol of American resilience and leadership. On the reverse, you'll find the classic Lincoln memorial design that defined pennies from 1959 to 2008. But here is where the plot thickens. Because in a small number of cases, something went wrong at the mint. And in the coin world, wrong can mean right for your wallet. Let me ask you something. Have you ever inspected the letters on your penny closely? Have you tilted it under the light to see if the date looks slightly doubled? Have you checked whether the mint mark appears shifted or unusual? Because some 1985 D pennies exhibit striking errors that transform them from 1 cent into hundreds or even thousands of dollars. One of the most talked about varieties is the double die error. This occurs during the die creation process when the design is impressed more than once at slightly different angles. The result is visible doubling in the date, lettering, or inscriptions like "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." To the untrained eye, it may look like a minor blur. But to a serious collector, it screams rarity. Imagine discovering that the penny you nearly tossed into a tip jar has clear doubling visible under magnification. Imagine sending it for grading, receiving confirmation that it is a genuine error in high mint state condition, and watching bidders compete for it. That's not fantasy. That's the coin market, and here's where urgency enters the room. Because the coin market is driven by awareness. The more people who discover these errors, the more competition increases. The earlier you check your coins, the better your position. Are you going to wait until everyone else is searching? Or are you going to lead? Now let's talk about condition, because condition is king. A 1985 D penny in circulated condition is common. But a sharply struck, uncirculated mint state example with a dramatic error is a different story entirely. Professional grading services evaluate coins on a numerical scale, and the difference between a lower mint state and a near-perfect grade can mean thousands of dollars. Here's a quick pattern interrupt for you. When was the last time you truly examined a penny? Be honest. Did you ever imagine it could compete with stocks or real estate for returns? Sounds crazy, right? Yet collectors across America actively hunt these small copper-coated zinc discs because rarity plus demand equals value. The excitement builds when you understand that some 1985 D-era pennies have sold in auctions for remarkable sums, especially those with bold double dies or striking anomalies in pristine condition. The current maximum market value for a confirmed high-grade, dramatic error example can reach into the thousands of dollars at major auction platforms. And that number reflects competitive bidding in a market where collectors are always searching for standout pieces. Now let's shift into the deeper emotional layer. Many of you watching are between 30 and 65 years old. You've worked hard. You've built careers. You've raised families. You understand the value of money. But what if part of your wealth strategy has been sitting unnoticed in your own home? What if from pocket change to millions isn't just a catchy phrase, but a mindset shift? How do you sell old rare coins? How do you start selling coins confidently? How do you make money from coins instead of letting them collect dust? These are the questions that separate casual observers from serious sellers. First, you educate yourself. Knowledge removes fear. Fear of being cheated. Fear of undervaluing your coin. Fear of missing out. When you understand the characteristics of valuable errors on the 1985 D Lincoln cent, you approach the market empowered. Second, you authenticate and grade. Professional third-party grading builds trust with buyers. A certified coin commands higher demand because bidders know exactly what they're getting. Third, you choose the right selling platform. Should you sell at a local auction shop? Should you consign to a major national auction house? Should you explore reputable online marketplaces that specialize in certified coins? Each path has advantages, but the key is exposure. High-demand coins deserve high-visibility platforms. Let me ask you directly. If you discovered tonight that you owned a rare 1985 D double-die penny in near-perfect condition, would you quietly sell it for a quick few $100s, or would you strategically position it in a competitive auction environment where collectors drive the price upward? The difference could be life-changing, and here's the exciting truth: the demand for error coins remains strong. Why? Because errors are finite. The mint is constantly improving technology, which means dramatic mistakes are less common over time. Collectors crave the unusual. They crave the story. They crave the tangible piece of minting history that escaped perfection. In Act 2 of our journey, the tension rises. You might be thinking, what if I don't have one? That doubt is natural. But consider this: millions of Americans have jars of pennies stored away. Many never bother checking. Statistically, someone watching this will discover something valuable simply because they looked. Have you searched your parents' coin collections? Have you checked inherited coin albums? Have you looked through rolls of pennies from the bank? The treasure hunt is real. And unlike lottery tickets, the coins themselves still hold face value. The risk is minimal. The upside can be extraordinary. Humorous moment here. If pennies could talk, how many would be screaming, "Don't spend me"? Right? Yet we drop them into vending machines without a second thought. As we move into Act 3, resolution and empowerment take center stage. The 1985 D Lincoln cent is more than metal. It represents overlooked potential. It represents the power of paying attention in a distracted world. From pocket change to millions begins with one habit: inspection. Train your eye. Use magnification. Learn the signs of doubling. Look for off-center strikes. Examine mint marks. Treat every coin as a possibility. How to sell old and rare coins in the USA and understand their value in auction shops. You build relationships with reputable dealers. You compare offers. You research recent auction results. You never rush out of desperation. High demand rewards patience, and remember this powerful connection: awareness leads to discovery, discovery leads to authentication, authentication leads to demand, and demand leads to maximum dollar value. Every step connects to the next. Miss one, and you weaken your leverage. Master all, and you strengthen your position. There is excitement in this process. There is urgency too. Because coins are constantly being lost, damaged, or spent back into circulation. Every year, pristine examples become harder to find. Every year, competition intensifies. So tonight, after this video ends, what will you do? Will you scroll to the next distraction? Or will you open that drawer, pour out those coins, and begin your own search? Imagine reaching into a dusty jar of pocket change tonight and pulling out a single penny that could quietly be worth more than a luxury car. Not a gold coin. Not a rare silver dollar. A simple copper cent. What if I told you that one specific coin, the 1969 D Lincoln 1-cent penny, has the power to transform the way you look at every coin in your home? Before you dismiss it, let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually examined the date and mint mark on your pennies? And what if the one you overlooked was the one that could change everything? In 1969, at the height of the space race and cultural transformation in America, the Lincoln cent was being struck by the millions. Among them was the 1969 D mint mark issue, produced at the legendary Denver Mint. To most people, it was just another penny. But to collectors, investors, and sharp-eyed treasure hunters, certain 1969 D pennies have become symbols of opportunity, urgency, and serious money. Now here's where it gets exciting. While the famous double-die variety is typically associated with the Philadelphia issue, rare error variations and high-grade 1969 D pennies have stunned the market. Coins with dramatic off-center strikes, die cracks, repunched mint marks, and exceptional uncirculated condition have commanded astonishing premiums. Let me pause and ask you directly. Have you checked your 1969 D pennies under magnification? Or are they still sitting unnoticed in a coffee can somewhere? Act 1 begins with possibility. You're searching through pocket change, old piggy banks, inherited coin jars, maybe even that forgotten drawer in the kitchen. At first, it feels ordinary. Then you see it. The date 1969. Beneath it, a small but powerful letter D. Your heart beats a little faster. Could this be one of the valuable ones? You tilt it under light. You examine Lincoln's profile. You check the lettering. Is there doubling? Is there an unusual strike? Is the condition far better than average circulation? This is where fear and excitement collide. Because here's the truth. Thousands of valuable coins are accidentally spent every single day by people who simply don't know what they're holding. Could you have already let one slip away? That thought alone should make you pause the next time you receive change. Act 2 is discovery and escalation. Let's talk value. In circulated condition, a standard 1969 D penny may only be worth a modest premium. But high-grade uncirculated examples graded by top services have reached impressive auction results. Exceptional specimens with blazing red luster and pristine surfaces have crossed the auction block for thousands of dollars. And when rare error combinations appear, the bidding becomes intense. The highest recorded market results for extraordinary 1969 D Lincoln cents with rare characteristics have reached into five-figure territory at major auction houses. Think about that. A coin originally worth 1 cent commanding tens of thousands of dollars because of condition, scarcity, and demand. That is the power of numismatics, and let's reset your attention for a second with a simple question. If someone offered you $100 bill for a penny, would you take it? Of course you would. What about $1,000? 10,000? Exactly. The key difference between those who profit and those who don't is knowledge and action. Now let's connect this to what matters most to you. You're between 30 and 65 years old. You've worked hard. You understand value. You understand assets. And you're looking for opportunities that others overlook. Coins represent history, scarcity, and tangible wealth. Unlike digital numbers on a screen, you can hold them in your hand. And certain coins, like rare 1969 D examples, are in high demand among collectors who compete aggressively for top-tier pieces, but here's the urgency. Condition is everything. A coin in mint state condition graded MS65 or higher can be worth exponentially more than the same coin worn down by decades of circulation. So ask yourself right now. Do you know how to evaluate coin condition properly? Have you considered professional grading? Because a small investment in authentication could multiply your return dramatically. Act 3 is transformation. This is where you move from curiosity to action. You've identified a 1969 D penny. It looks promising. What do you do next? First, never clean it. Cleaning destroys value instantly. Second, store it safely in a protective holder. Third, consider submitting it to a respected grading service for authentication and encapsulation. A certified coin commands stronger trust and higher bids in auctions. Now let's address the questions running through your mind. How to sell old rare coins. How to start selling coins the right way. How to make money from coins. Can pocket change really turn into millions? How to sell old and rare coins in the USA and get maximum value in an auction shop. The answer begins with education and positioning. Research recent auction sales. Study realized prices from reputable auction houses. Understand grading standards. When you're ready to sell, you have multiple paths. Major auction houses provide national exposure and competitive bidding. Established coin dealers offer quicker transactions. Online marketplaces expand your reach but require knowledge and caution. The key is knowing your coin's certified grade and current demand before negotiating, and here's something powerful to remember. Demand for key date coins and high-grade Lincoln cents remains strong because the Abraham Lincoln series is one of the most widely collected in American history. Generations of collectors build complete sets. When a superior 1969D example becomes available, serious buyers pay attention. Scarcity meets desire. Desire meets competition. Competition drives price. Let me interrupt your thoughts with this. What if the coin sitting in your drawer right now could cover a mortgage payment? Fund a dream vacation? Boost your retirement portfolio? Sounds dramatic? Maybe. Impossible? Absolutely not. This is not about gambling. This is about recognizing overlooked assets. It's about transforming awareness into wealth. Every valuable coin story begins the same way. Someone looked closer. Someone asked questions. Someone took action while others ignored opportunity. The market today rewards quality. Auction archives show that top condition 1969D Lincoln cents have achieved maximum dollar results in the tens of thousands when rarity and grade align perfectly. Imagine converting a single cent into a return that rivals traditional investments. That's not fantasy. That's documented auction history, and here's the final connection. Earlier, we talked about fear of missing out. We talked about excitement. We talked about urgency. All three lead to one conclusion. The coins you already own may hold hidden potential. But potential only becomes profit when you ACT.so tonight, open that jar. Examine every 1969 penny. Look for the D mint mark. Study the surfaces. Check the strike. If it looks exceptional, protect it. Research it. Consider professional grading. Then position it in the marketplace strategically. Whether through auction houses, reputable dealers, or specialized coin shows, place your asset where demand is strongest. What if I told you that a single penny, yes, a 1-cent coin you might have tossed into a jar years ago, could be worth thousands of dollars today? Not a gold coin. Not a silver dollar. A simple copper-coated coin from 1992. And not just any penny, but the 1992 D mint mark Lincoln cent with a rare error that has sent shockwaves through the coin collecting world. Before you shrug this off, let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked at the pennies in your pocket? Because one tiny detail could separate 1 cent from a life-changing payday. The coin we are talking about is the 1992 D Lincoln 1 cent, struck at the United States Mint in Denver. At first glance, it looks ordinary. On the front, you see Abraham Lincoln, the familiar portrait that has been a part of American currency for generations. On the back, in 1992, you'll find the Lincoln Memorial design, a tribute to the historic Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. Nothing unusual. Nothing flashy. Just a penny, but here's where the story shifts. In 1992, a rare variety was accidentally released into circulation. It's known as the close AM reverse error. Normally, on pennies of that year struck in Denver, the letters A and M in the word America on the reverse are spaced slightly apart. But on a very small number of coins, those letters are unusually close together, almost touching. That tiny detail, barely visible to the naked eye, is the difference between pocket change and serious money. Now let me ask you directly. Have you ever checked the word America on your 1992 D penny? Have you looked closely at the spacing between the A and the M? Because if those letters are nearly touching, you may be holding one of the most talked about Lincoln cent errors of the modern era. Act 1 of this story is about ignorance, not as an insult, but as a reality. Millions of Americans handled these coins in the early 1990s. They paid for coffee, groceries, gas. They fell between car seats. They were thrown into jars. Most people never noticed the subtle design variation. And why would they? It looks almost identical to every other penny. But in the world of rare coins, the smallest variation can create massive demand. Act 2 is where excitement begins to build. Over time, sharp-eyed collectors discovered that a few 1992 and 1992 D pennies carried this close AM reverse, a design that was supposed to be used in later years. Somehow, a reverse die intended for future production was paired with 1992 dies. The result? A transitional error. And transitional errors are gold in the collecting world. When the market realized how rare this coin truly was, the energy shifted. Auction houses began highlighting them. Collectors started hunting rolls of 1992 pennies. Dealers searched bank boxes. Suddenly, a coin that most people ignored became a high-demand treasure, and here's where urgency enters the picture. These coins are still out there. They were released into circulation. That means they could still be sitting in old jars, dresser drawers, inherited collections, or even in circulation today. The question is not whether they exist. The question is whether you will be the one to find one before someone else does. Now let's talk about value, because I know that's what you're thinking. In circulated condition, a genuine 1992 D-Close AM penny can sell for thousands of dollars depending on its grade. In higher mint state condition, examples have reached well into 5 figures at major auctions. The maximum recorded sale prices have stunned collectors and proven that modern pennies are not to be underestimated. Pause for a second. Imagine discovering that the penny you found in an old coffee can is worth more than a month's salary. Maybe more than a year's salary. How would that feel? Exciting? Empowering? A little unbelievable. This is where fear enters the story. Because for every person who discovers one of these coins and profits, there are countless others who unknowingly spend them. They cash them in at coin counting machines. They roll them up and deposit them at banks. They never look closely enough. Don't let that be you. If you're between 30 and 65, chances are you've handled thousands, maybe tens of thousands of pennies in your lifetime. You may even have older collections passed down from parents or grandparents. How many of those coins have you examined with real attention? Here's the pattern interrupt. Be honest, when was the last time you gave a penny the respect of a millionaire? It sounds funny, doesn't it? But that mindset shift is powerful. Because wealth in the coin world doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers. Now let's connect this to your bigger goal. Many of you watching are not just curious collectors. You're motivated individuals asking bigger questions. How to sell old rare coins. How to sell coins for maximum value. How to make money from coins. How to turn pocket change into something meaningful, maybe even millions over time. The first step is knowledge. Understand what makes a coin rare. In the case of the 1992 D-Close AM, it's the reverse design spacing. Compare your coin to verified images from reputable sources. Look for the letters A and M in America nearly touching. Check the FG initials of the designer near the Lincoln Memorial. On genuine close AM varieties, their position is slightly different from normal issues. The second step is authentication. If you believe you have one, do not clean it. Do not polish it. Cleaning destroys value. Instead, submit it to a professional grading service for authentication and encapsulation. A certified coin commands far more trust and higher auction bids than an uncertified one. The third step is strategy. How to sell old and rare coins in the USA for top dollar. You have options. Major auction houses that specialize in rare coins attract serious collectors willing to compete. Competitive bidding can drive prices upward. Reputable coin dealers can offer immediate liquidity. Online platforms can widen your reach, but you must know how to present and protect your asset. Think about the psychology here. A rare coin in high demand creates competition. Competition creates higher prices. That's why presentation, grading, and timing matter. When the market recognizes scarcity, values climb. Now imagine this scenario. You inherit a small box of coins. Inside are common pieces, and one overlooked 1992 D-Close AM penny in near mint condition. You get it graded. It comes back as a high mint state example. Suddenly, auction houses are interested. Collectors are calling. Bidding opens, and it climbs. And climbs. And climbs. This is not fantasy. It's how the rare coin market works when supply is limited and demand is strong. Let's bring this full circle. The 1992 D-Close AM Lincoln cent represents something bigger than just a coin. It represents opportunity hidden in plain sight. It represents the idea that value is not always obvious. It represents the power of paying attention when others do not. So I ask you again. Have you checked your pennies? Have you examined the spacing on America? Have you looked through that jar in your closet? Or will you wait until someone else tells you they found one and sold it for thousands? From pocket change to powerful profits, that journey begins with awareness. You don't need to be born wealthy to build wealth. Sometimes, you just need to be observant, informed, and willing to act. What if I told you that a simple penny, yes, a single 1-cent coin, could quietly be sitting in your drawer, your old jar of pocket change, or even in your car's cup holder, and be worth thousands of dollars? Not a rare gold coin. Not a century-old treasure. But a 1997 D. Lincoln 1-cent penny. The kind most people overlook. The kind most people spend without a second thought. And that is exactly why opportunity exists. Today, we're diving deep into the United States 1997 D. Mint Mark Lincoln penny, struck at the legendary United States Mint in Denver. A coin featuring the timeless portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a design that has lived in American pockets for generations. But this isn't just another story about a common coin. This is a story about hidden value, overlooked errors, and how ordinary Americans, from ages 30 to 65, are turning pocket change into serious money. Let's begin with a simple but powerful truth. Millions of 1997 D. Lincoln cents were minted. On the surface, they are common. But here's where it gets interesting. Not all coins are created equal. In the fast-paced, high-volume environment of mint production, mistakes happen. And in the world of coin collecting, mistakes are gold. Act 1, Discovery. Imagine this. You're cleaning out an old drawer. You find a small jar filled with pennies. Most are worn, ordinary, forgettable. But then you notice one. A 1997 penny with a small D mint mark beneath the date. It looks normal. Or does it? Now here's the question that should make your heart beat just a little faster. What if that coin has a rare mint error? What if it has a double die? What if the lettering shows separation? What if there's an off-center strike? What if there's a broad strike that escaped quality control? What if this ordinary penny is not ordinary at all? The 1997 D. Lincoln cent is part of the modern era of coinage, and many collectors assume modern coins can't be valuable. That assumption is expensive. Certain 1997 D era coins, especially strong double die varieties, dramatic off-center strikes, or coins struck on the wrong planchet, have sold for hundreds and even thousands of dollars at major auction houses. High-grade examples in near-perfect mint state condition certified by professional grading services command impressive prices. Think about that. A coin that once bought you nothing more than a piece of candy, now has the potential to bring in serious cash. And let me ask you something directly. When was the last time you truly examined your change? Not glanced at it. Examined it. Act 2, Realization. The design of the 1997 D. Lincoln penny features Lincoln's profile on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. This memorial design, used from 1959 to 2008, is iconic. But collectors aren't just looking at the big picture. They're looking at the details. Look closely at the date. Do you see doubling? Check the word Liberty. Is there separation in the letters? Examine In God We Trust. Any shadowing? Look at the mint mark. Is it clear and sharp? Tilt the coin under light. Do you notice unusual thickness or distortion? These small details can mean big money. Now pause for a moment. I know what you might be thinking. It's just a penny. That's what millions of people think. And that's exactly why rare examples slip through circulation unnoticed. Here's the reality. Coin collectors across the United States actively search for modern-era coins. Online marketplaces, coin forums, and major auction platforms have seen strong demand for certified 1997 D error cents in top condition. The market rewards rarity, eye appeal, and condition. If your coin grades at the higher end of the mint state scale, its value can multiply dramatically, and here's the emotional trigger you need to hear. Every day, valuable coins are accidentally spent. Every day, someone unknowingly hands over a rare error penny for face value. Don't let that be you. Let me reset your attention with a quick thought. If someone handed you a lottery ticket for 1 cent, would you throw it away? Of course not. Yet people ignore potential treasure in their own pockets. Now let's talk strategy. How to sell old rare coins. How to make money from coins. How to turn pocket change into something far greater. First, authentication matters. Professional grading from respected third-party services gives your coin credibility and maximizes value. Buyers pay premium prices for certified coins because they trust the grade and authenticity. Second, understand your selling channels. Major coin auctions often achieve the highest prices, especially for rare error varieties in excellent condition. Auction houses create competition. Competition drives price. Coin shops offer convenience and quick cash. Online platforms provide access to national demand. Each method has advantages, but informed sellers always research before listing. Third, presentation is power. High-quality images, clear descriptions, and certification details build buyer confidence. A coin that looks extraordinary commands extraordinary attention. Now let's talk urgency. The coin market moves in cycles. Demand for modern era coins has grown significantly as new collectors enter the hobby. When demand rises, prices follow. But here's the twist: opportunities don't last forever. As more people discover certain varieties, availability tightens. Smart collectors move early. Act 3, Transformation. Picture this. You identify a genuine 1997 D Lincoln penny with a strong, dramatic mint error. You send it for grading. It comes back high grade. You consign it to auction. Bidders compete. The final hammer price far exceeds anything you imagined when you first found that coin in your spare change. This isn't fantasy. It's happening, and here's where all the points connect. Knowledge leads to awareness. Awareness leads to discovery. Discovery leads to action. Action leads to profit, from pocket change to serious returns. From overlooked to highly demanded. From curiosity to confidence. Let me ask you another powerful question. How many coins have passed through your hands in your lifetime? Thousands? Tens of thousands? What if just one of them had extraordinary value? Wouldn't it be worth slowing down for a few minutes today to check? Selling old and rare coins in the USA is not reserved for elite collectors. It's accessible. Coin shows across the country connect buyers and sellers. Reputable dealers actively purchase rare error coins. Major auctions showcase modern rarities to global audiences. When your coin is rare, certified, and desirable, demand finds you, and here's the beautiful part. You don't need millions to start. You need attention. You need curiosity. You need the willingness to look closely at what others ignore. Fear can be a powerful motivator. Fear of missing out. Fear of spending something valuable by accident. But let excitement drive you forward. The thrill of discovery. The possibility that today's ordinary penny could become tomorrow's extraordinary payday. Now imagine explaining to your family that the coin you found in a drawer paid for a vacation. Or reduced debt. Or funded an investment. That story begins with awareness. So here's your call to action. Tonight, before you dismiss your loose change, examine it. Look for that 1997 D mint mark. Inspect the details. Research known error varieties. Compare images. If you suspect something unusual, take the next step and seek professional evaluation, because opportunity does not knock loudly. Sometimes it whispers from the bottom of a jar filled with pennies. The 1997 D Lincoln 1 cent penny represents more than metal. It represents potential. It represents the idea that value is often hidden in plain sight. And for those willing to look closer, it represents a pathway, from pocket change to powerful financial opportunity. What if I told you that a single penny, yes, a coin most people ignore, toss into jars, or leave in cup holders, could quietly be worth more than a luxury vacation, more than a year's salary, maybe even the down payment on your dream home? Before you dismiss that idea, let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked at the pennies in your pocket? Not glanced at them. Really looked at them. Today we're talking about the 2014 D-Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. A modern coin. A coin many people believe is too new to matter. But what if that assumption is costing you real money? What if right now, sitting in a drawer, a coin jar, or tucked away in an old wallet, there's a 2014 D-penny with a rare error that collectors are aggressively searching for? This is not just about a coin. This is about awareness, opportunity, timing, and the people who recognize value before everyone else does. The 2014 D. Lincoln 1-cent penny was struck at the legendary United States Mint in Denver, identified by the small D mint mark beneath the year. It features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, and the Union Shield design on the reverse, a symbol of strength and unity. Millions were produced. And that's exactly why most people overlook it, but here's the twist. In the world of coin collecting, rarity is not just about mintage numbers. It's about errors. It's about condition. It's about the unexpected. Act 1 begins with ignorance, because that's where most wealth opportunities hide. Most Americans see a 2014 penny and think, 1 cent. They don't consider minting mistakes. They don't consider die errors, double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or dramatic die cracks. They certainly don't imagine that a modern coin could command serious attention at auction. And that's where the opportunity lies. Imagine this. You're sorting through pocket change. You notice something slightly unusual about a 2014 D-penny. Maybe the lettering looks doubled. Maybe the strike seems slightly off-center. Maybe there's an unusual raised line cutting across Lincoln's portrait. You shrug and toss it aside. But what if that subtle detail is exactly what advanced collectors are hunting? Error coins are born in moments of mechanical imperfection. A misaligned die. A worn hub. A metal blank improperly fed into the press. And in that fraction of a second, a mistake becomes a treasure. The fear here is real. How many rare coins have already slipped through your hands because you didn't know what to look for? How many times have you spent something extraordinary for face value, but here's the excitement. You can change that today. Act 2 is discovery. The 2014 D. Lincoln penny has documented cases of double die errors and striking anomalies that have attracted serious collector interest. In pristine, uncirculated condition, especially those graded at the highest mint state levels, these coins become dramatically more desirable. Condition is everything. A coin pulled fresh from circulation may be worth little. But a sharply struck, flawless example with a confirmed mint error can command astonishing attention. And let's talk about grading for a moment. Professional grading services authenticate and encapsulate coins, assigning them a numerical grade. The higher the grade, the stronger the market demand. In today's competitive coin market, collectors are paying premiums for top population examples. That means coins graded at the highest levels are in fierce demand. Now pause for a second. Quick question. Do you know where your change is right now? Is it in a jar? A drawer? The console of your car? What if your next financial breakthrough is hiding next to an old receipt? Here's where urgency enters the story. The coin market is dynamic. Values shift with demand. Error coins don't last forever in obscurity. Once discovered and documented, serious collectors move fast. The window of opportunity is strongest when awareness is still spreading. Think about this psychologically. Most people believe wealth comes only from stocks, real estate, or business ventures. But history has proven time and again that collectibles, especially rare coins, have created life-changing outcomes for those who paid attention early. the 2014 D penny is part of a broader modern coin movement where collectors are aggressively searching rolls from banks, buying mint sets, and scanning circulation for overlooked errors. The competition is real. And it's increasing. So how do you position yourself on the winning side? First, inspect every 2014 D penny carefully. Use magnification. Look for doubling in the lettering and date. Examine the mint mark. Study the shield lines on the reverse. Check for off-center strikes or unusual die breaks. Even subtle anomalies can mean significant value if authenticated. Second, protect what you find. Handle coins by the edges. Store them in non-PVC holders. Avoid cleaning them, ever. Cleaning destroys value instantly. A coin's originality is sacred in the collector community. Now let's address the questions that may already be forming in your mind. How do you sell old rare coins? The answer begins with knowledge. Once you confirm you have a legitimate error or high-grade coin, you can approach reputable coin dealers, major auction houses, or online auction platforms specializing in numismatics. Professional auctions often bring the strongest prices because they connect your coin to competitive bidders. How do you start selling coins confidently? Authentication is the foundation. A certified coin carries credibility. Buyers trust third-party grading. With certification in hand, you position yourself not as someone guessing, but as someone presenting verified rarity. How do you make money from coins consistently? It starts with education and discipline. Study mint errors. Monitor auction results. Search bank rolls strategically. Focus on quality over quantity. The serious money is in condition rarity and true errors, not common circulated pieces, from pocket change to millions. Does that sound dramatic? Maybe. But consider this: every major coin discovery began with someone looking closer than everyone else. Act 3 is transformation. Picture yourself discovering a high-grade 2014 D Lincoln penny with a dramatic double die. You send it for grading. Weeks later, it returns authenticated at an elite mint state level. Suddenly, collectors are interested. Auction platforms showcase it. Bidders compete. The final hammer price shocks you. The current market maximum for a top-tier, certified, high-grade 2014 D Lincoln penny error has reached as high as $10,000. Let that sink in. For a penny, now imagine telling that story. Imagine explaining how you trained your eye, recognized opportunity, and turned everyday change into a serious financial gain. That's not luck. That's awareness meeting action. And here's something powerful. Your age is an advantage. If you're between 30 and 65, you likely have decades of accumulated change, inherited jars, forgotten boxes from parents or grandparents. You have access to coins others have already spent. So let me ask you again. Are you looking at your coins, or are you overlooking them? The demand for modern era coins continues to rise because collectors love the thrill of discovery. They love documented mint mistakes. They love low population, high-grade examples. And when supply is limited, prices respond accordingly. There's a humorous truth in all this. We bend down to pick up a penny for good luck, but we rarely bend down to inspect it for real value. Maybe luck isn't random. Maybe it's attention. We're talking about the 2017 D Mint Mark Lincoln 1 cent, a modern coin that many Americans still overlook. But within this humble copper-plated zinc disc lies a powerful lesson: wealth does not always shout. Sometimes, it whispers from your pocket. Act 1 begins with awareness. Most people believe valuable coins are always ancient, dusty, and locked away in museums. They think treasure must be old to be gold. But what if I told you modern coins, coins from just a few years ago, can carry extraordinary value? The 2017 D Lincoln cent was struck at the legendary Denver Mint, a facility known for precision, history, and millions of circulating coins each year. Yet even with advanced technology, mint errors still happen. And when they do, collectors pay attention. Big attention. Now ask yourself, how many 2017 pennies have passed through your hands? 10? 100? Thousands? Did you examine them closely? Or did you assume they were all the same? That assumption is where opportunity hides. In 2017, the obverse of the coin features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, dignified and calm, as he has appeared on the cent since 1909. The reverse displays the Union Shield design, introduced in 2010, symbolizing national unity and strength. It looks standard, predictable, safe. But errors disrupt predictability, and that disruption is where serious money enters the story. Let's talk about the kinds of errors that have made the 2017 VDB Penny highly desirable. Collectors have reported double die varieties, off-center strikes, die cracks, and dramatic misalignments. Imagine Lincoln's profile slightly doubled, as if echoing itself. Imagine the lettering, "In God We Trust," appearing shadowed. That's not damage. That's a minting anomaly. And in the coin world, anomalies equal scarcity. Scarcity equals demand. Demand equals value. Now here's the emotional trigger, fear of missing out. What if one of those pennies in your home right now is worth far more than 1 cent? What if you've already spent one? The thought alone should make you pause before dropping your change into a vending machine again, but let's shift from fear to excitement. Because here's the truth, the market for mint-error coins is stronger than ever. Collectors across the United States actively search online auctions, coin shows, and dealer inventories for modern errors in pristine condition. Why? Because modern error coins are limited discoveries. They are not mass-produced intentionally. Once identified and certified, they become elite collectibles. Condition is everything. A 2017 VDB Lincoln cent error graded mint state 67 or higher by a reputable grading service can command impressive prices. Sharp luster. No circulation wear. Crisp details. Combine that with a verified mint error and you have a recipe for significant value. While common circulated examples remain face value, certified high-grade error specimens have reached hundreds and even crossed into the low thousands depending on the severity and uniqueness of the mistake. The maximum recorded market results for dramatic, authenticated examples continue to climb as collector competition increases. So let me ask you directly. Are you checking your coins under magnification? Do you own a simple 10x loop? Have you separated your 2017 Denver pennies from the rest? Opportunity rewards preparation. Act 2 is about transformation. You've discovered a potential error coin. Now what? How do you sell old rare coins in the USA and understand their value in auction shops? How do you move from pocket change to serious profit? First, authentication creates trust. Submitting your coin to a respected third-party grading service establishes credibility. Buyers pay premiums for coins that are certified and encapsulated because it removes doubt. Doubt kills deals. Confidence multiplies offers. Second, exposure drives price. Auction platforms create competitive bidding environments. When two collectors both need the same rare 2017 VDB error to complete their registry sets, emotion takes over. Prices rise. That's how ordinary sellers achieve extraordinary results. Local coin shops can also provide liquidity, but high-demand error coins often realize their strongest numbers when multiple buyers compete. Now pause for a moment. Quick humor break. If pennies are worthless, why are collectors fighting over them like it's the last slice of pizza at a family reunion? Exactly. Because knowledge changes perception. How do you make money from coins consistently? You study patterns. You follow auction records. You protect condition. You act before the broader public catches on. The 2017 VDB Lincoln cent is still modern enough that many remain undiscovered in circulation rolls. Bank rolls. Coin jars. Estate boxes. That window will not stay open forever. Here's the urgency. Every year, more of these coins enter circulation where scratches happen. Luster fades. High-grade examples become harder to find. The population of pristine error coins does not increase. It decreases. That shrinking supply fuels higher demand over time. Act 3 is ownership. Not just ownership of a coin, ownership of your financial curiosity. The difference between those who profit and those who don't is simple. Action. You are part of a generation that understands side income, smart assets, and alternative investments. Coins combine history, art, scarcity, and liquidity. They are small but powerful. Picture this scenario. You carefully search a roll of 2017 VDB pennies from the bank. One coin stands out. Slight doubling on the date. Clean surfaces. Strong strike. You send it for grading. Weeks later, it returns authenticated as a double die error in high mint state condition. Suddenly, that 1-cent investment transforms into a multi-hundred or potentially $1,000 asset depending on the grade and demand cycle. That is leverage, how to sell old and rare coins effectively. Build relationships with reputable dealers. Attend regional coin shows. Compare auction results before accepting offers. Negotiate confidently because you understand the market. When buyers sense knowledge, they respect your asking price, and let's connect everything we've discussed. Awareness led you to inspect your change. Education taught you what errors to look for. Authentication established trust. Exposure created competition. Urgency pushed you to act before condition declines. Each step builds toward one outcome, turning overlooked currency into meaningful money. Let me ask you something powerful. If you had known 10 years ago that certain modern pennies would become highly collectible, would you have saved more of them? Of course you would. So what will you do today, now that you know? The 2017 VDB Lincoln 1 cent is proof that opportunity is not always dramatic. Sometimes it's copper-colored, lightweight, and hiding in plain sight. The coin market rewards patience, attention to detail, and decisive selling strategy. And right now, interest in mint errors remains strong among collectors seeking registry-quality pieces, from pocket changes to millions. Does it sound exaggerated? Perhaps. But every major coin collection started with one intentional decision to look closer. To treat small denominations seriously. To respect scarcity. Wealth often begins with discipline in small things. So tonight, before you relax, open that jar. Separate your 2017 pennies with the D mint mark.